A very good afternoon. Today we shall be talking about post-implementation review of innovative projects. So this comes as a part of module 4. What is very crucial for us is to understand the purpose of a post-implementation review. There are three critical reasons which necessitate the need for a PIR. First and foremost, you learn lessons from the project. These lessons can be used by the team and the organization to add value and improve future projects. To understand the extent to which a project meets its objectives, deliver the right benefits, and address the requirements which are originally defined. Last but not the least, you look at the overall effectiveness of the elements of the project and see if further improvements can be made to make it more effective, to make it more innovative, make it more applicable for your consuming audience. So in your post-implementation review, there are a few important questions to be answered. First, did the project fully solve the problem that it was designed to address? Can we take things further and deliver even bigger benefits? And what lessons did we learn that we can apply to bigger projects in the future? When should a project implementation review be conducted is when the members of the project team are fresh with the project in their minds. It has to be done shortly after the project has been delivered and when most of the problems have been ironed out. So how do you conduct a PIR? Openness is very crucial because, as we've discussed on several occasions, innovation is always cross-functional. You need to be objective. A success document needs to be prepared which highlights the success of the overall project. Look for hindsight, meaning don't just look at this project and its applicability today, but look at the future perspective. Understand both the positives and the negatives of this project. In a PIR, the very first thing that you do is something called a gap analysis, where you review the project and evaluate how closely the results of the project match the original objectives. Review these deliverables and ensure that it's been delivered to an acceptable level of quality or that there is an acceptable substitute in its place. Also, what is crucial is if there are any gaps between implementation and the original, you need to see how those can be closed. Second, you look at the project goals. Is the deliverable functioning as expected? Are the error rates low? Is it fit for your purpose? Is it functioning well? That it will adjust not just current demands but future demands as well? Are the users adequately trained, skilled, or supported? Are the necessary controls and systems in place? What are the routine activities needed to support it? And how does the end result compare with your original plan in terms of three aspects: quality, project schedule, and the overall budget? Now, look at the stakeholders' point of view. Were the end users' needs met? Is the project sponsor, meaning the company that actually executed the project, satisfied? What are the effects on the clients and the end users? And the most crucial of them all, how can dissatisfaction be addressed? Now, in the PIR, you need to very carefully, with a magnifying glass, review the project's costs versus benefits. What are the final costs? Cost necessary to operate the solution, cost to support the solution, and a comparison of cost versus benefits is so crucial. When you prepare a PIR report, you need to understand what are your learning outcomes. You need to look at the corrective activity, what lessons you have learned to carry forward to future projects, and does this project lead to future projects, which builds on the success and the benefits of goals already achieved. How to review when you do the PIR is define what is your scope of the review. Is it a product innovation, process innovation, service innovation? What is the scale of these said innovations? what are the key variables which are needed, and look at certain key documents which support your review. Don't just look at internal employees as the reviewers, also consider independent third-party reviewers who give you an unbiased perspective on your innovation. Use appropriate secondary and primary data collection methods. Deliver the right kind of reports and present your recommendations to the management. What are the phases thereby in project management for you to consider is first you look at the project strategy, how the project is going to be implemented, executed, what is the cost involved, what are the conditions involved, what is the competitive set, study the business case and the model, prepare a plan in order to execute the project so that review becomes easier, design a review process, develop and test the product, ensure business readiness is there, ensure that benefits are realized, and ensure till close. If you do these things judiciously, a project review becomes that much simpler. Now, in the preparation phase, you need to do something called a WBS. Take the overall work, break it down, look at milestones, make independent individual documents for each stage of the innovation process. You need to select third parties, put certain actions in place, certain key resources in place in order to ensure that the innovation is going to be successful. Then you got to train users, look at new systems, identify what's required for the project to be effective right from the launch date. And once you adequately address this, reviewing it becomes that much simpler. When you close it and you complete and store your documentation on the innovation, you need to carry out a PIR. And please understand, business connections to other companies helps you bring in different project team members, helps you assign project team members on an ad hoc basis in the organization to do a full-scale, in-depth review. Now, some of the processes involved thereby for both innovation projects as well as review is phase management. Innovation occurs in phases. Even review occurs in phases. Planning is crucial. Control is an important element to consider while you're doing a PIR. Having the right teams in place, ensuring proper communication between these teams is going to ensure a adequately justified and systematic PIR. Integration of cross-functional teams is crucial to determine your PIR's success. So just to give you a comprehensive idea, there is this diagram or this picture that I put here which gives you an idea. Post-implementation review starts from describing the project, actually setting a review process in place, doing a review of the findings, and something called a non-financial review and a financial review. It's very crucial because I've always told you innovation equals commercialization. So I need to study it from a commercial and a non-commercial standpoint. Then I look at what are some of the detailed key results. I understand project timelines, risk management, and I understand what the lessons are learned. So to do a review, you need to understand that once the project has been delivered, how the project went, whether it achieved the expected results, and based on this, you prepare a business case. Keep that business case as a benchmark and study all future projects aligned with it. With this, I hereby end my small talk on a project implementation review or post-implementation review in innovation. We will keep this sort of as a foundation to further discuss on subsequent case studies in the next live session. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead of you.